PJ, I just want to ask you about the wideout first off. For people who have never experienced that before, how would you describe it?
It's going to be tough for people who haven't experienced to describe it, but it's like sea of white, just everybody's wearing white, everybody's really loud, and for me, that really helps, and for this defense, that really helps because you can't hear anybody next to you, in front of you, or behind you, so I would describe it like that.
How do you guys adjust your communication for that? Because you've got to audible, you've got to change, you've got to talk to each other, but you're on the field during the time when no one can hear each other.
I think we work on it throughout the week. We're used to that loud environment when we're playing in Beaver Stadium. So I think we're just communicating. You can always give hand signals to the guy next to you. That's what we do in the defensive line. If you don't get the call, you just signal it over to your brother. But we're in Beaver Stadium. We're used to that crowd being with us. So we just prepare throughout the week with being together. Just doing it each and every time. If you don't get it, just look over to your brother, and it's really as simple as that.
In the preseason, everybody says that somebody's going to be good or the unit's going to be good. How nice has it been for this defense to be pretty much as good as advertised, right out of the blocks?
When you put in the work all offseason, it's definitely nice to have something to show for it. And I think coming into the season, we wanted to be the best defense in the country, and that's the type of work we did all off season, together. It wasn't just one unit, it was all the units coming together, making that decision, and then going out and executing during the off season. So, it's definitely paid dividends so far in the season, and we're just going to continue to grow each week. So,
PJ, when you're not starting a game, what are you doing early on? Are you looking out on the field and at specific things, or what's kind of going through your head?
Yeah, you're watching when those guys are out there, but I think the most important part is when the starters come off the field. You're asking, what are you seeing? What is the offense doing? So when your chances to go out there, you know what you're going to get from the offensive line. So I think that's the biggest part. Like when they come off the field, you're asking them what they're seeing, so you're prepared to go out there.
And with the number of D tackles and D ends that you guys are rotating, do you get a sense that the offensive line is kind of getting tired as the game goes along? How much of an advantage is that?
Oh, it's a huge advantage. Our room is deep, but coming here, Coach Penn's always said, like, what makes Penn State's defensive line unit so special is that we're able to rotate, and that's what we do each week. So, as the game goes on, the guys, you definitely start to see the offensive line, wearing down, and we're just continuing to rotate, and we're so fresh because we have so many guys that can rotate and that can go in there and do the job.
And every one of you guys were big-time recruits, started all your games in high school. How does the coaching staff kind of get you to buy in to maybe not necessarily being a starter, or is it just a matter of you're getting so many reps that it doesn't matter?
I think that's who we are. Whether we're starting or not, we're always going to prepare like we're the starter. Each of us wants to be great, and each of us has to be great in order for this unit as a whole to be great. So whether we're starting or not, the guys in this room, we want to execute to perfection ourselves because that's what we know it takes to be great as a unit.
PJ, can you kind of take me through the dog tag ceremony, how it works, what's the atmosphere like when you guys do that?
Coach Smith always talks about brotherhood, and I think that's what the dog tag ceremony embodies. It was definitely great that the fans during the HBO documentary were able to see that because not too many people know we do that. So, we're all in the hotel. Coach Spence goes around with the keychains, and we have our keychains in there with our nicknames on there. So we pick it out. We tell them who it is, who we picked, and then we hug our brother. So it's a unique thing that we do, and it just goes to show you that this brotherhood is so strong.
Are you wearing that during the game, or is it in the locker room, or where does it actually go?
You can wear it during the game, but the thing was with me for last year, it got pulled off during the game and it broke. So I don't wear it. I just keep it in my locker before the game. But I wear it during the weekend before the game. So.
Coach Franklin had mentioned that Rob Windsor, I guess, talked to you guys Friday night and about his message, and I was kind of filled with gratitude. What do you remember about what Rob said?
Rob's journey was unique. Me coming here last year, I was able to play. I had early success, But for Rob, he didn't have that early success. You know, he had to go through the redshirt year. He had to go through the hardships of not playing, because when you're not playing, you know, it is tough to watch the team. But, you know, Rob said that he had to overcome a lot of things, and what made him so special is that, you know, he realized that he had to overcome things, and he was willing to sacrifice to get where he's at today. So it was just special. And I think the most important thing out of that was that he sacrificed, and then the next day he was able to go out there and perform the way he did. So I thought that was truly like special for him.
Can you tell us a little bit about his personality? Because you know, he was in that post-game interview, and
Yeah,
people
yeah.
got the sense for it. You know, he told us this offseason, you know, big expectations for himself, not just this year, but for next spring with the NFL draft. He kind of laid that all on the line. Is he as confident as he appears to be on the daily, and how does that kind of resonate with your group?
Yeah, he's confident because he's willing to put the work in. You know, Rob is always talking to me as a younger guy about sacrificing. You know, he sacrifices daily, like each day, whether we're out, like for instance, we could be out at lunch, and when we go to this place where we get like burgers, and I'll get the burger, but he'll get the one with the lettuce on it, like you know what I mean? Like it's a healthier option, because he says like that's the key to success, and that's what's going to take you from good to great. So, you know, each day he's working on his craft. He's working on being better off the field, whether it's stretching, eating right. So, and that goes a long way to what he's able to do on the field, and that's why he's able to have that confidence. You know, Rob's he's a unique guy all around.
And sticking with some of these veterans in the locker room, I heard from Robert after the game too, and Garrett Taylor, they feel like the buy-in's at a different level than where it's been. You seem to notice that, I mean, just 2 years on campus, but for the younger guys who weren't part of the earlier struggles that they dealt with, I think they went 9-8 their first 17 games as a group.
Right.
How do you kind of find that commonplace where you're all coming in, seeing a different program, the top 10 program, and how do you kind of meet in the middle in terms of your mentalities?
Well, it starts in the off season, and it starts when we all come together in those player-led meetings, and you know, we all as a unit, offense and defense, made up our mind that we want to be great. You know, losing it sucks in point blank period, and you know, we lost some games that we felt we should have won last year, and we made up our mind that wasn't going to be the case this year. So you know, we had a lot of time to really understand who we wanted to be as a team, and I think we talked about it all off season, and then we went out and did it, like I said, this off season. So I think that's the most important part. We all bought in, and we're like, look, we're all here, we're all going to do this, and we're all going to be great. So I think that's what we did.
There were times last year, some of the losses where the defense was asked to come out and make a stop after the offense couldn't run the clock out. How rewarding is it to stand on the sidelines and watch Noah Kane do exactly what you would probably hate to see coming from the other side of the field? And then what does it do for this team to have that kind of closer? Because Franklin said he seems to be the guy right now in that 4 minutes.
Yeah, well, we always have our offensive back, you know, whether we have to go out there and make a play for them, because, you know, we know they're going to do it, vice versa. But, you know, on Saturday, just to see Noah go out there and just, you know, carry that ball and just keep pounding that defense, it gives us a little bit of a break to catch our win and stuff like that. But, you know, he eventually scored, and, you know, we were thrilled about that. But, you know, whether we have to go out there or not, you know, each unit has the other's back, so.
Carl Olson's a guy who's meeting with you guys pretty regularly. Is there something that he said that maybe stuck with you or resonated with you at all?
He talks about, Carl always talks about, what are you doing when you're not on the field? And I think that's what I just talked about. What can you be doing to better the team when you're not on the field? And I think when the offense comes off the field, whether it's good or bad, you got to be supporting those guys. You got to be helping them get through whatever they're going through, whether it's good or bad. So he always talks about that, and I think that's a message that definitely resonates with me, because, you know, when I see Cliff running off the field and I'm going on, I'm always dapping him up, making sure, like, look, we got to go to the next play, whether you scored or whether you didn't. So I think that's a huge part of what Carl tells us throughout the week.
So body language matters then?
Oh yeah, body language definitely matters, because, you know, you have to have that next play mentality, and if you don't, you're going to get stuck in the past, and then you're not going to be able to move forward. So, you know, that's a huge part of what Coach teaches us, and a huge part of what Carl tells us.
Should have started.
PJ, I'm just curious, looking at the Michigan film, early this week,
Mhm.
maybe, what do they do that maybe is a little bit different from what you guys have seen this season, or, what's the big thing you guys have to be aware of when you face the Wolverines?
Oh yeah. I told the defensive line, I told coach that this is going to be our biggest test in the interior. They have 3 guys in that middle who are very good football players. So they're downhill blockers. They want to get on you and they want to drive you down the field. There's no blocking to shield you off from the gap. They want to take you and they want to drive you down the field. They're physical and they're violent. So it's going to be a great test for our interior, but all across the board, they have a very good line. We saw that last year. I was able to watch film from this year, their last couple games, and I was able to watch the film last year. So these guys they're a great offensive line, and I can't wait for that challenge.
Hey PJ, even if you don't have a lot of time to watch College Game Day, do
Mhm.
you have like maybe a favorite sign or something you've seen, whether it be like on the internet somewhere or anything that sticks out to you?
I don't have a favorite sign, but I'll tell you this. Growing up, I grew up watching College Game Day, so I was one of those people who woke up at like 8, 9 in the morning when everybody was still asleep just to be able to watch College Game Day because I thought it was so unique how they would go around to each different place and you could see the different environments and atmospheres that they were at. And I would watch it until 12 o'clock when it ended and the game started to go. So I love College Game Day, and it's going to be great for this university and the students that they come here this week. So I don't have a favorite sign, but I love College Game Day as a whole and what they do.
So can you believe the last couple of years you've been at a school where College Game Day was? Does it kind of resonate with you?
Yeah, it does. It does resonate with me because this is why I came here. I came to play in the big games. I came to play in an environment that people want to come to, such as College Game Day. They love it here. So, this is why I come to Penn State. Yeah, it's definitely a shocker, but at the same time, this is what we came here